Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is If Loving You Is Wrong, Season 3, Episode 20, and the name of this episode is No One Is Safe. And I will go on to say that this was a really good episode, and I think we have one more episode left before the season finale of Season 3. So, let me get started. The episode opens up where it left off. Kelly is still at the police station, and the officer lets him know he has a warrant, but he doesn't have a warrant for her arrest. He has a warrant to get her DNA being, tied to the murder of Ramsey. They said that there was hair samples, and since she's been in his house, they're testing everybody, but Kelly right now is feeling personally attacked because she's pretty much adamant that she feels personally attacked because she's letting him know that Travis is after her, but he won't believe her because he's going by the evidence. He's going by what is tangible, and Travis pretty much has the game licked at this point. So she pretty much is like, she gets to the point that she even goes off on the officer and she says she's going to leave. He's like, you can't leave. This is court order. This is court order DNA. So if you leave, I can arrest you. So you got to get the DNA. So she relents and says, fine. Then the next thing you know, we see fucking Travis walk up to talk to Rick. And she goes off, that's Travis. Why don't you arrest him? And then she pretty much, was like, like he kidnapped my son, and pretty much, the officer gets Rick to calm her down because Kelly is frantic that he walking in the police office like it's nothing. But this was interesting because the officer begins to talk to Travis, and we can tell by their conversation that the officer is not too keen on Travis. Like, he's kind of thinking something ain't right here. Like, you filed a restraining order, but yet you picked up her son. Something ain't right with this picture. Like, why? But he plays off the fact that he's a child of God. He even quotes scripture. He does all of this. Like, he is literally selling that he's this good old little church boy, and he's dating this crazy woman who won't leave him alone. But the officer is kind of suspicious. Like, he's kind of looking at Travis like something ain't adding up. And then when Travis tried to play that cool thing by trying to shake his hand, the damn officer left his ass hanging and walked away. Like, dude, don't be trying to butter me up, motherfucker. And then you kind of saw him leave with a smile on his face. So Kelly's pissed that she has to get her DNA, and also for the fact that they just let him go. And we also saw Tipper Haynes again. Tipper was the one who ended up taking her DNA. So that was pretty interesting. Then we actually see that Esperance is with the kids. She calls her. She calls Kelly. Her and Kelly talk, and she lets them know that, they think I did this, and, and like Esperanza says that, well, since the captain's been gone and these new people been coming in, everything's been kind of crazy at the precinct. I don't know what the hell to say, but she said that. But then she let them know that they wanted my DNA. But then Esperanza calmed her down. It's like, girl, you don't got nothing to worry about. That's just to exclude you from being a possible suspect in the crime. So if your DNA is not there, you have nothing to worry about. Don't even worry, because she said that they took my DNA, so you're good. And and then also she has said that she got all the kids and that she has justice with her. Kelly gets mad. It's like, I told Alex, like, that's what makes me so mad with Alex. Why is Alex always leaving her damn kids? Why is Alex always just leaving her kids some damn way? What the fuck? And then Esperanza said, like, well, we've been trying to call you, and we called you like 5 times, and you never picked up. Excuse me. So she pretty much lets her know that, look, I got the kids, everything's cool. And then next we see Esperanza playing with the kids, and that ends that. Then we get this scene with Natalie. Natalie's, in the new house, and she gets a call from Joey from jail. They pretty much, go back and forth. He pretty much says that, I'm sorry I failed you, Mom, and all of that. But she's saying that, no, you did good, baby, because when you was out here, you could have went back to swinging and all of that, but you didn't. you know, you try to do good and you try to do right. It's just messed up that, you know, that the circumstances fell the way they did, and we can see that she's getting really emotional because her son is back in jail again for violating his probation, when really he protected someone, and if he didn't have that gun, Quan was going to kill him, and he would have killed Fawn. But, you know, he wasn't supposed to have a gun. But, you know, after she gets off the phone with him, you know, and it's funny because it looked like after when Joey hung up the phone, you know, Joey's in a wheelchair, so now he's pretty much in the infirmary at the jail. It kind of looked like, it's like, I wonder, was that Terrell that was standing next to him that was on the phone? Because we always see Terrell on the phone talking to either his mother or talking to Kelly. So I wonder if Terrell was standing right there. It could have been. But next thing you know, we see Natalie break down, you know, and then Lucian tries to cover her, but then she tries to put on that tough role, like, I can't break down, I got to be here for the kids and all this shit. But then Lucian is like, look, I'm here with you. You know, I'm not going anywhere. Let it go. Let your heart break. You can't keep holding on to it. You can't keep holding on to stuff. And she breaks down, and I have to say, April Parker Jones, you deserve an Emmy, baby, because you brought actual tears. Like, I literally felt that moment. Like, it damn near made me cry watching it. I mean, she did an amazing job, and she literally let it all go, and she just broke down. I mean, and it's just sad, you know, because Joey actually was acting in the right, but then yet according to the law, he was acting in the wrong. And it's messed up because, you know, a lot of young men get caught in situations like that, and it's unfortunate. But it was cool to see that Lucian was there for her. Then we get a scene that I personally liked. Julius decides to go visit Randall. And this time he wasn't Psycho Betty because he's shook of Julius. He knows what that family's about. So he pretty much comes in there and he lets him know that, you know, you remember this? And he has this folder, and he was like, yeah, this was the psycho evaluation you gave to my father's attorney. And pretty much in the evaluation, he pretty much told the truth about Julius, that he's narcissistic, that he's a danger to himself as well as others, that he should not handle any money unless it's controlled by a trust. And yeah, so because of that, he's like, okay, this is what I want you to do. See, the thing is, I got this from that lawyer because now that my father's lawyer, is now my lawyer. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to prevent this from going to the cop. I want you to prevent this from going to the courts. That's number one. Number two, I want you to rewrite it. Yeah, so that's what he said. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he said that, one, I want you to rewrite it and, you know, give it to me so I can take it to my attorney. And he says, how long do you think you will have it? How long do you think it'll take? He said, I could have it by tomorrow afternoon. He's like, okay, you know, do you want to hold on to this? And he was like, no, I don't need it. He's like, oh, so you remember exactly everything you said? He's like, it doesn't matter. I got you. So he said, okay. And he says, I also heard that some racist was about to hang you over some baby or something. And he was like, yeah. And he's like, well, let me tell you this. If this doesn't go through with my lawyer, if this doesn't go through to the courts, if my evaluation is not right, you are going to wish that they hanged you for what I'm about to do to you. And then he pretty much hugs him, and I'm like, Julius is giving me homo tease like shit. I don't care what nobody says. Julius be giving homo tease like crazy. And he's like, you know, we're friends, right? And, you know, friends like to hug. So then he goes in to hug him, and he lets him know, if you screw this up, I'm going to hang you. and then walked the fuck out of it. And all of a sudden you saw Randall was shook. That little extra, psycho, pretty much Psycho Betty, his alter ego. Psycho Betty didn't show up. You really saw like Randall shook like a little boy, like, I don't want to piss this crazy motherfucker off because he's more crazier than me and he will fuck me up. So that's what I got from that. Then we get a damn good scene here. It's a scene with fucking Brad is in his office working. Eddie comes in there talking shit, talking about something. Oh, why the hell you didn't tell me that hoe was fucking Lucian too? Oh yeah, and Lucian FBI. See, that slut will mess with any damn body. Oh, tramp and all this other shit. So he's talking all this shit, and then and like Brad is telling him like, look, get the hell out of here with this shit. He's like, look, I'm your friend. I'm trying to protect you. He's like, look, if you're my friend, stop coming to my job with this bullshit. He's like, man, I don't give a fuck about your damn job. And I'm like, that's because he's not your fucking friend, Brad. Like, Eddie is fucking crazy. And Eddie was just talking all this crazy shit and all that. And then all of a sudden, he says that, look, I got another appointment coming, so I don't need this shit right now. We get a knock on the door. Brad says, come in, and it's Alex. And he's like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden, Eddie starts talking. Oh, what the hell you doing here, you slut? I mean, damn. Ain't you done, spreading yourself thin all over town? You fucking trash bag. I mean, he was just talking bad, buku shit. And he was telling, and like, Alex was like, I think I'm going to leave. And like, Brad was like, no, stay. And, and Ed's like, nah, bitch, get the fuck out of here. We don't need you. We don't need you and your bullshit. You up here messing around on Brad and messing around with every damn body and then getting pregnant and shit, causing all this. And, like, he was just talking all this shit. And it gets to the point that Brad literally jacks up Eddie and throws him out of his office. And then he has a quick moment with Alex where she apologizes yet again for what she's done, but then she thanks him for saving the baby. So they kind of have like a little coming to thing moment, and you can tell that there's still love between them. The love is still there. Even amidst all the shit she's done, he still has a special place in his heart for Alex. So they had that connection. Next thing you know, Eddie comes back with Marcy, and he's pretty much like manhandling Marcy, and she pretty much hits him with a purse, like, get the hell off of me. Oh, great, so now the other slut is here. Now your new piece is here. Like, great. And then he just starts talking more shit, and damn, Brian jacked Eddie's ass up again and threw his ass down. He's like, take a picture, take video. I want to see what's going to happen. I'm like, Eddie, if you don't take your psychopathic, trifling, racist ass on some fucking with it. Like, Eddie's ass was just on 10 the whole fucking time. And we like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So then we get the scene with Brad, Alex, and Marcy. And she again is taunting Alex. I actually came over here to see how my man was doing at his job. And then all of a sudden, Alex is like, okay, I'm leaving. And she's like, oh, yes, and I'm actually enjoying I'm enjoying the full package, not just the 2 little inches he was giving your ass. I'm like, oh, my God, Marcy, just stop. And it upsets Brad. And then, like, she said that, I'm here to... And pretty much she said she was really there to, to take him out to dinner or whatever. But he's like, I got a lot of work to do. I'm not trying to deal with that. But then, she says, okay, I'll see you at home. And that's where that ended. Then we get a scene with Pete and Lucian. Pete calls Lucian. He's still being, guarded by the FBI. And, Pete pretty much tells Lucian that he's been watching the news and he's asking, is it true about Andrew? And he's like, yeah, he's missing. And he was saying that, like, Eddie needs to be stopped, because I know Eddie had to be behind this. This sounds like Eddie. And he's like, look, we need to go to Internal Affairs with this. And he's like, nah, this has to go even higher. This needs to be given to like the FBI. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, okay, well, maybe we should call him. He's like, you got FBI guarding you right now. Think about it, Pete. Does FBI agents really guard police officers? Obviously, they may be on the Eddie already. It may be already a bug out there. So so therefore, if you want to tell the officer out there what's going on, and if you want to confess to that officer, you can. But Lucian is really kind of controlling it because Lucian is FBI and he knows everything that's going on. And then he was saying that he's like, I bet I know who else would know what Ben is. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Forgive me. He was saying, I bet I know who else would know what, and he's like, no! I'm sorry, forgive me, y'all. I just get tripped up on my words sometimes. Forgive me for this. But then Pete was like, well, there is somebody else who may know what Andrew is. And Lucian's like, who? He said, Ben. And he's like, why Ben? He said that because when Eddie came to stick my IV, Ben was the one who distracted the FBI agent. And you just see Lucian getting fired up like, I'm going to fuck that motherfucker up when I see him. So all of a sudden now, shit's starting to make sense. That's how he was able to get past the FBI detail. Ben distracted him and Eddie was able to just walk in and do what he had to do. So he was saying, hey, look, if anybody, besides Eddie knows what he is, Ben would know too, because Ben is just as messy. So they had that conversation, but Lucian lets him know, like, look, you're the only one that can really put Eddie away for a long time. So you need to know that, and you got FBI on you, so you got protection, and, tell that officer, that's guarding you everything that you know. Let them know everything. But then he also asked about, did Natalie give you the disc, but they never got the disc. So, yeah, it got lost a long time ago. But he's saying, but hey, you pretty much are the strong witness, and you can really put Eddie away for a long time. So that's pretty much was the nature of that discussion. Then we get a scene with Marcy. Marcy's at the apartment. She gets a knock on the door. And guess who the fuck shows up? Psycho Betty, a.k.a. Randall, because he immediately came in there on some psycho shit, talking about how poor the damn house is, kicking around the furniture, talking about, oh, so this is where you are? And he's like, you're stupid. And she's like, how the hell you find out where I live? How the hell you know this? Like, well, you're getting mail, but it has your new address on it, so I just brought it here. But then he really came in there just to be fucking messy, and he was talking all out of his motherfucking head, was just going back and forth like, oh yeah, you missed this. I know I'm good. I remember how I used to give it to you. You couldn't get enough of it, and all this shit. And Marcy's like, you know what, get your crazy ass up out of here. Don't nobody got time for your bullshit. And then he drops the bomb. Oh yeah, the baby may not be mine. I think it's Lucian's, And she's like, fool, please. Nellie ain't gonna fall for that bullshit. And he's like, well, I guess her ghetto ass is more smarter than I thought. I'm like, Psycho Betty, you wanna be like, Natalie will fuck you up. So you need to stop talking all your shit about her being ghetto, because she lives literally a few doors down from you. But he's like, you know what? She's like, I'm not gonna believe anything you fucking say and actually ruin someone else's relationship. Because unlike you, Lucian is intelligent. Lucian's smart. He ain't gonna fall for that bullshit, and I don't think Lucian would even do anything like that. So get your ass up out of here spreading your fucking lies. And he's like, well, okay. And he's like, and then he's like, oh, well, you touched me. Because, like, she had tapped him on the shoulder and was like, look, stop being messy and stop, spreading lies and shit on a good man. And all this bullshit. And then he's like, oh, you touched me. You still want me. You think about me, don't you? Because I know Brad ain't doing good as I'm doing. Like, he was just doing all bunch of extra shit. Like, Psycho Betty was really showing his ass, and she finally got his ass up out the door. And I'm like, good for you, Marcy, because that motherfucker, he knows when to turn that shit on and off. That manipulative little shit. Psycho Betty comes out when he wants Psycho Betty to come out. But when it came down to Julius, you ain't give Julius Psycho Betty. Because you know if you gave him Psycho Betty, your ass would have been dead. So you give Psycho Betty, you give Psycho Betty to people who you feel are not a threat to you, or you feel you can get away with that shit. See, Randall's a messy motherfucker. Yeah, Psycho Betty, yes, Psycho Betty, yeah, she crazy as cat shit, but he can control that bitch if he wants to. So it's like in one instance when we saw Randall, he was pretty much giving me, you know, bitch tease, but then all of a sudden now you big and bad and you throwing your weight around and talking your shit and trying to say that you like this big black mandingo and can't nobody fuck like you can, you know, while acting as Psycho Betty. So that was crazy as shit. But this was the fucking kicker, because the last scene we have, Kelly is driving and she gets a flat tire. She takes off her heels and puts on her flats because she got to change her tire. And something told me something was not right about this scene, because I just had that feeling. And lo and behold, she opens the damn trunk and it's fucking Travis. Travis literally attacks her, starts choking her, saying that, why the hell did you tell the cops that I kidnapped Travis? I mean, sorry, why did you tell the cops that I kidnapped Justice? You know, like, you don't run anything, bitch. He's like, you don't run anything, bitch. Excuse me about that, but he's like, you don't run anything, bitch. I run shit. And then he's like literally choking her out or whatever. He's saying, you keep messing with me, Kelly. You keep fucking with me. And I'm like, see, you're going to have to kill this motherfucker. Because how is it that the same fucking day when the officer told his ass, look, you got a restraining order, stay away from her, stay away from her son, leave them alone, and that motherfucker was in the trunk of her fucking car. Like, this motherfucker is crazy. Like, it is like he is completely went, you know, out of the radar of the police. Like, dude, it's going to get even crazy, because even next week, they still now believing that Travis is crazy. But Lucian knows Kelly, and he's kind of like letting them know, like, look, if you don't stop him now, he's going to kill her. But I'm like, or better yet, hopefully Kelly gets a backbone and finally decides to end Travis her damn self. Because this shit got to stop. You know, you now riding in the trunk of people's cars and shit. Now you Ray Caruth, nigga? Really? But yeah, that was just crazy. So yeah, I have to say this was a good episode. There was a lot that happened, and we got 2 more episodes left. But that's my review, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with you next week for the next episode of If Loving You Was Wrong. So until then, everybody, take care.